Don't miss these 7 dangerous stroke signs. It could save your life. Every year, thousands of people walk around with a ticking time bomb inside their bodies, an undiagnosed stroke waiting to happen. Stroke is one of the leading causes of disability and death worldwide, but what if I told you that recognizing just a few subtle symptoms could make the difference between life and death? According to the American Heart Association, over 795,000 people in the U.S. alone suffer from a stroke each year, and about 140,000 of those strokes are fatal. Here's the shocking part: 87% of all strokes are ischemic, meaning they occur due to a blockage in blood flow to the brain. The good news? When caught early, strokes are highly treatable, and the chances of recovery significantly improve. I can already hear the skepticism. I'm healthy, this doesn't apply to me. These dangerous assumptions have led countless people to ignore early warning signs. Stroke can affect anyone. Age, gender, and lifestyle all play a role, but even young, seemingly healthy individuals are at risk. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down the 7 stroke warning signs that everyone, regardless of age or health status, needs to know. This isn't just information, it could be the most important health lesson you'll ever watch. Let's break down these signs, starting with the first. Sign 1. Sudden weakness or numbness. Sudden weakness or numbness, especially on one side of the body, is one of the most critical warning signs of a stroke. This symptom can affect the face, arm, or leg and often comes on suddenly, catching individuals off guard. Many people mistakenly attribute this to fatigue, dehydration, or even a pinched nerve, but it's actually a sign of disrupted blood flow to the brain. When an artery becomes blocked or a blood vessel ruptures, oxygen and nutrients are cut off from brain cells, leading to rapid cell death. This damage manifests as weakness or numbness, often localized to one side of the body. For example, someone might find it difficult to lift one arm. Their grip strength may be noticeably weaker, or their face might droop on one side, especially when they try to smile. While these signs are often dramatic, they can sometimes be subtle. For instance, the affected person may feel a tingling or pins and needles sensation in their limbs instead of complete numbness. Others may describe a heavy or fatigued feeling in their arm or leg, making movement more difficult. In some cases, facial weakness might only become apparent when the individual tries to eat, drink, or speak, leading to slurred speech or difficulty swallowing. These symptoms, no matter how minor they seem, should never be ignored. They are your body's urgent cry for help, signaling that immediate medical attention is needed. Acting quickly is essential because strokes are a medical emergency. The phrase "time is brain" underscores the urgency, as approximately 1.9 million brain cells die every minute during a stroke. Early treatment, such as clot-busting medication or surgical intervention, can save those brain cells, reducing the risk of permanent disability or death. If you suspect a stroke, use the FAST test, check for facial drooping, arm weakness, and speech difficulties, and remember that time is critical. Even if symptoms seem to resolve on their own, they could indicate a transient ischemic attack TIA, often referred to as a mini-stroke, which is a major warning sign for a future, more severe stroke. Understanding risk factors can also help prevent strokes. Chronic conditions like high blood pressure, atrial fibrillation, and diabetes significantly increase stroke risk, as do lifestyle factors like smoking, obesity, and lack of exercise. Surprisingly, even dehydration can contribute by thickening the blood and increasing the likelihood of clots. Managing these risk factors, staying hydrated, and maintaining a healthy lifestyle can greatly reduce the chances of a stroke. Ultimately, sudden weakness or numbness is not just an inconvenience, it's a potentially life-saving signal that demands immediate attention. If you or someone else experiences these symptoms, don't hesitate, call emergency services right away. Acting swiftly could be the difference between full recovery and long-term disability. Sign 2. Confusion or trouble speaking. Confusion or trouble speaking is another hallmark sign of a stroke and should never be dismissed as a temporary lapse or moment of stress. Speech difficulties can manifest in various ways, including slurred or garbled speech, the inability to find the right words, or even a sudden loss of speech altogether. You might notice that a person struggles to articulate their thoughts, mispronounces simple words, or speaks in a way that is difficult to understand. In some cases, the individual may also appear confused or disoriented, unable to comprehend basic questions or follow simple instructions. These symptoms reflect the brain's inability to process or relay information properly, often due to an interruption in blood flow to areas responsible for language and cognition. The confusion associated with a stroke can extend beyond speech. The affected person might appear dazed, unable to recall familiar faces, names, or places, and may even exhibit inappropriate emotional responses, such as sudden frustration or irritability. These changes, though they may seem subtle at first, are not random. They indicate that parts of the brain critical for communication and understanding are being deprived of oxygen and nutrients. This real-time brain damage can worsen quickly if medical intervention is not sought immediately. It's important to note that these speech and cognitive difficulties may fluctuate or appear to resolve temporarily, especially in the case of a transient ischemic attack TIA. However, even brief episodes are serious warning signs that a more severe stroke could occur. Acting fast is crucial. If you observe these signs in yourself or someone else, conduct a quick test by asking the person to repeat a simple sentence or follow a basic command. If they struggle, call emergency services without delay. Confusion and trouble speaking can occur in anyone, regardless of age or health status, especially if they have underlying risk factors like high blood pressure, diabetes, or atrial fibrillation. These symptoms are more than just frustrating or inconvenient, they are cries for help from the brain. Recognizing them early and seeking immediate medical care can mean the difference between recovery and long-term neurological damage. When it comes to strokes, time lost is brain lost, so never ignore these critical signs. Sign 3. Vision problems. Sudden vision problems are another critical warning sign of a stroke that often goes unnoticed, or is easily dismissed as fatigue or stress. These changes can include blurry vision, double vision, or even a complete loss of sight in one or both eyes. While these symptoms might seem temporary or harmless, they can indicate a serious disruption in blood flow to the areas of the brain responsible for processing visual information, can lead to immediate and sometimes permanent changes in vision. Unlike other stroke symptoms, vision disturbances may not always be obvious, especially if they affect only one eye or cause subtle effects like difficulty focusing. Double vision, for example, might be misattributed to eye strain, while partial vision loss in one eye could be mistaken for an unrelated optical issue. Peripheral vision problems are also common, where individuals lose sight on one side of their visual field, a condition called hemianopia. This can make daily tasks like driving or walking hazardous, as objects or people on one side may go completely unnoticed. Interestingly, some stroke-related vision changes, such as flashes of light or blind spots, might resemble symptoms of migraines with aura. However, the difference lies in their sudden onset and lack of accompanying headache in many stroke cases. Recognizing this distinction is essential, as misinterpreting the symptom can delay life-saving treatment. In addition to direct vision loss, strokes affecting the brain's occipital lobe or areas involved in coordination can also impair the ability to process spatial information. This might manifest as difficulty judging distances, bumping into objects, or even feeling disoriented in familiar environments. While these signs may seem less alarming than complete blindness, they are equally important indicators of a stroke in progress. If you or someone else experiences a sudden change in vision, do not delay seeking medical attention. Time is critical, as early intervention can prevent further damage and potentially restore lost vision. Sign 4. Severe headache. A severe headache is one of the most dramatic and alarming signs of a stroke, often described by those who experience it as the worst headache of their life. Unlike typical tension or migraine headaches, stroke-related headaches are sudden, intense, and unrelenting. They can strike out of nowhere and may be accompanied by additional symptoms, such as nausea, vomiting, neck stiffness, or a sudden change in consciousness. This type of headache is more commonly associated with hemorrhagic strokes, which occur when a blood vessel in the brain bursts, causing bleeding that exerts pressure on surrounding brain tissue. The pain from a hemorrhagic stroke can feel explosive and overwhelming. Some individuals describe it as feeling like a sudden clap of thunder inside their head, while others report a crushing sensation that rapidly worsens. Unlike migraines, which often have predictable patterns or triggers, this headache can occur with no warning, and does not improve with typical over-the-counter pain medications. If it is accompanied by neurological symptoms such as weakness, numbness, or vision problems, the likelihood of a stroke increases significantly. Another key differentiator is the presence of other physiological symptoms that may accompany the headache. For example, increased pressure inside the skull can lead to sensitivity to light, photophobia, dizziness, or confusion. In some cases, individuals might experience seizures or lose consciousness entirely. These additional symptoms indicate that the headache is not just a standalone issue, but part of a more significant and dangerous event affecting the brain. While severe headaches are most often linked to hemorrhagic strokes, they can occasionally occur in ischemic strokes as well, especially if the blockage disrupts blood flow to sensitive areas of the brain. In either case, the headache serves as a crucial warning sign that should never be ignored. Even if the pain subsides, the underlying cause could still be life-threatening and requires immediate medical evaluation. If you or someone you know experiences a headache of this intensity, it's essential to act quickly. Call emergency services and report all accompanying symptoms, as this can help healthcare providers prioritize and prepare for the appropriate treatment. Early intervention is critical in minimizing brain damage and improving outcomes. Remember, when it comes to strokes, time is of the essence. Never dismiss a sudden, severe headache as just another bad day. Sign 5. Dizziness or loss of balance. Dizziness or loss of balance is a critical yet often overlooked early warning sign of a stroke. This symptom arises when the brain regions responsible for movement, balance, and spatial awareness, such as the cerebellum or brainstem, are deprived of oxygen-rich blood. Many people dismiss dizziness as a minor issue, caused by fatigue, dehydration, or low blood sugar, but in the context of a stroke, it signals a serious disruption in neurological function. If you suddenly feel unsteady, find yourself stumbling, or experience difficulty coordinating basic movements like walking or standing, it's essential to seek immediate medical attention. The dizziness associated with a stroke is not the same as a momentary feeling of being lightheaded. Instead, it can feel as though the entire world is spinning, a sensation known as vertigo. This might be accompanied by nausea, vomiting, or a loss of control over your movements, making it difficult to perform even simple tasks. In some cases, individuals may feel as though their legs are giving out beneath them, or they may struggle to judge distances, leading to bumping into objects or tripping. One of the most concerning aspects of stroke-related dizziness is its sudden and unpredictable onset. Unlike dizziness caused by inner ear issues or dehydration, which often have gradual or identifiable triggers, this type of dizziness appears abruptly and without warning. It may also worsen when combined with other symptoms, such as numbness, slurred speech, or vision problems, making it clear that something more serious is happening. For some, loss of balance may manifest as difficulty controlling fine motor skills, such as picking up small objects or writing. Others might experience an inability to move one side of the body effectively, leading to lopsided movements or an abnormal gait. These symptoms are often misinterpreted as clumsiness or fatigue, especially in younger individuals, but they are strong indicators that the brain's motor functions are being compromised. It's important to act immediately if you or someone else experiences sudden dizziness or loss of balance, particularly if it is paired with other neurological symptoms. Call emergency services and report the full range of symptoms, as this information can help first responders determine the likelihood of a stroke and initiate treatment more quickly. Sign 6. Difficulty swallowing. Difficulty swallowing, medically referred to as dysphagia, is a lesser-known but critical warning sign of a stroke. This symptom can arise suddenly and manifest as trouble swallowing food, liquids, or even saliva. Individuals might find themselves choking unexpectedly, coughing during meals, or struggling to clear their throat. In severe cases, swallowing may become impossible, posing immediate risks to health and safety. Dysphagia occurs when a stroke damages the brain regions that control the intricate network of muscles involved in swallowing. This disruption can weaken the coordination between these muscles, making even the simplest act of swallowing a challenge. Swallowing difficulties aren't just inconvenient, they are potentially life-threatening. When food or liquid is accidentally inhaled into the airway instead of being directed to the stomach, it can lead to aspiration pneumonia, a serious lung infection. Additionally, the inability to swallow properly can result in dehydration, malnutrition, and a rapid decline in overall health. Even mild dysphagia warrants immediate attention, as the consequences can escalate quickly if the underlying cause, a stroke, is not treated. The symptoms of dysphagia can vary depending on the severity and location of the stroke. Some individuals may notice a feeling of food sticking in the throat or difficulty initiating a swallow. Others may experience drooling or an inability to manage saliva, which can lead to frequent throat clearing. Changes in voice quality, such as a gurgling or wet sound after eating or drinking, are also common signs of impaired swallowing function. These subtle indicators, while easy to overlook, are critical for early detection of a stroke. People with dysphagia may also feel a heightened sense of discomfort or anxiety around eating and drinking, as every attempt feels fraught with risk. Over time, this can lead to avoidance of food and liquid intake, exacerbating the dangers of dehydration and malnutrition. If you or someone else experiences sudden difficulty swallowing, don't dismiss it as a minor issue. Combine this symptom with others, such as facial weakness, dizziness, or slurred speech, and the likelihood of a stroke increases significantly. Immediate medical evaluation is crucial to address the root cause and begin appropriate interventions. Sign 7. Loss of consciousness or fainting. Sudden loss of consciousness or fainting is a serious and alarming sign of a stroke, often signaling a significant disruption in the brain's ability to function. This symptom occurs when the brain is deprived of oxygen for a critical period, either due to a blocked artery, ischemic stroke, or bleeding in the brain, hemorrhagic stroke. The lack of oxygen and nutrients impairs the brain's ability to maintain basic bodily functions, leading to a temporary or prolonged loss of awareness. Even if consciousness is quickly regained, this symptom should never be dismissed. It often signals a major neurological event that requires immediate medical attention. Fainting or loss of consciousness during a stroke may not occur in isolation. It is often accompanied by other stroke warning signs, such as slurred speech, weakness on one side of the body, or difficulty breathing. These additional symptoms provide crucial clues that the event is not a simple fainting spell but something far more severe. For example, fainting coupled with numbness or facial drooping strongly indicates an underlying stroke. Loss of consciousness can also point to a more advanced or severe stroke, particularly one involving the brainstem. The brainstem controls essential life-supporting functions, including heartbeat, breathing, and consciousness. Damage to this area can cause a sudden and complete blackout, sometimes with no prior warning signs. This type of stroke can be life-threatening and often requires rapid intervention to prevent further complications or death. In some cases, fainting during a stroke may be confused with other medical conditions, such as a heart arrhythmia or a seizure. However, the context in which fainting occurs, particularly if it is paired with neurological symptoms, makes a stroke a likely cause. It's critical for bystanders to note any accompanying signs or behaviors, as these details can help healthcare providers diagnose and treat the issue more effectively. If you or someone else experiences sudden fainting, don't wait to see if the symptoms improve. Call emergency services immediately, even if the person regains consciousness and appears fine. Fainting might seem minor, but in the context of a stroke, it signals a potentially life-threatening event. Quick medical intervention can make all the difference in minimizing brain damage and increasing the likelihood of a full recovery. Never ignore fainting, especially if it occurs with other stroke symptoms. Time is critical. Are you at risk? Now that you know the warning signs, let's talk about risk factors. Age, high blood pressure, smoking, diabetes, high cholesterol, and a sedentary lifestyle all increase your stroke risk. But here's an alarming fact. Up to 80% of strokes are preventable with lifestyle changes, like maintaining a healthy diet, exercising regularly, and managing chronic conditions like hypertension or diabetes. If you or someone you know experiences these signs, remember this acronym: FAST, facial drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulties, time to call emergency services. Acting fast can make the difference between recovery and a lifelong disability or worse. Thank you for watching. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe for more valuable health content. Don't forget to check out the other videos on your screen for more life-saving insights. See you there.